All right, welcome to News 6 Extra. I am Christopher Heath, back at it yet again. I know it is Tuesday. It is warm out there. I mean, David's here. David, you're more qualified to explain to people, what have we done to make this weather the way that it is? Is it something, I mean, if we angered the gods or what? I was joking with Candace this morning. It's, 4.5 billion years since the planet was this warm.
Yeah, no, it is extensively hot out there, Chris. We may not have angered Mother Nature, but she's definitely taken out some wrath on us. In fact, we've been shattering records the last couple days, and it doesn't look like we're going to be getting any relief, at least in the next 2, if not 3 days. Maybe by the weekend into next week, the pattern is going to start to change up, and I've got all the latest information on that. If you don't mind, I can take the floor.
There you go.
For those of you tuning in, it's great to be back in the hot seat. I was away with the military for much of July, but we're back and we're going to talk all things weather together. Going to get you outside right now. Normally, I'd like to start off with the radar, but we don't have a lot going on out there. What I did want to show you all, and I'll take it full screen so you get a better view, and maybe I'll do some doodling for you as well. One of my favorite things to do here when we're in the Digi Weather Center. Let me pull out my handy-dandy pen tool. If you notice, over Florida, we are clear. That's not going to be the song and dance throughout the day today. We do have a bit of a moisture fetch I'll talk you through here momentarily. But notice across much of the eastern United States, follow my illustrator there, there's really not a lot going on out there. That's because, to tell you the honest truth, have you ever done that cruel joke or that cruel trick of taking a microscope and kind of lighting up the bugs on the floor, just kind of trying to burn some paper or grass back in the day? We're quite literally under a magnifying glass right now in terms of what our activity out there, what our pattern is doing. We've got a large ridge of subtropical/tropical high pressure that is absolutely dominating our weather pattern. It's been stubborn too. This has been the rhythm we followed since May. However, now we're into summer. So we've amped it up that much more. And as a result of that, let's get you over to what National Weather Service has for you. We've got extreme heat warnings across a majority of our viewing area. Thankfully, Brevard County right now, you're kind of cooking a little less than we are. Heat advisory feels like 108 to 112 degrees out there. Notice in the bottom right-hand corner, I have a ticker there that says they advise little overnight relief. Just because we have such a area of high pressure bearing down on us, we're pretty much dead center the ridge aloft. I'll show you once we get to the upper air look here in a moment. We're really not going to see a lot of that heat dissipate. As I was on my way back into Central Florida late last night, we're talking 1, 2 in the morning, and the dash was still saying 85, almost 90 degrees. Let's take a look around Central Florida right now. I'll get some temperatures for you. If you notice in Brevard, it is only 12:30. We're not even at the warmest part of the day yet. You can see Titusville at 95, Cape Canaveral at 94, Daytona Beach, really hot tourist attraction nowadays, especially during the summer vacation. Every pun intended, we're at 97 right now, and we still have a couple more hours of warming to do. We switch gears, get over to Central Florida, and you can see out in Lake Wales, 94, Bartow at 95, getting up towards the greater Orlando area, sitting at 93, Bithlo 95, Apopka 96, and then the Villages, we're getting close, 98. And these are actual air temperatures. We haven't even gotten to the heat index just yet. These are your actual air temperatures. Now, I have not seen a graphic like this in a very long time, folks. This is your heat index. This is what it's going to feel like for a lot of us as we go through the day today. Leesburg coming in at a whopping 117 degrees. Orlando, that metropolitan area, 111. Kissimmee, 114. And even out towards the Space Coast, Cape Canaveral coming in at 106 degrees in terms of what it will feel like to our skin. You want to take this very serious. We're not for the doom and gloom or the hype here at News 6, but this is definitely some extensive heat, and it can get dangerous for everybody, regardless of what shape you're in, what age, demographic. It does not discriminate. So make sure you take care of yourselves if you're outside working outdoors. I personally am glad I upgraded to a car with AC because Lord knows, I was thinking this morning, imagine if I didn't have that AC in a time like this. God, I would not want to wander into the studio. I don't want anybody to experience that. Looking at the heat index for tomorrow, we don't quite get very much relief, but notice we kind of start to taper taper down a little bit. That's because our ridge, the pattern out there, is going to slowly break down. There's a kicker to that. Rock with me if you're still watching. So this is where we have the dangerous heat index coming into play. You notice we have that huge dome of high pressure ridging, and see all the dark oranges, the reds extending up through the heart of the nation. That's going to stick around for a little bit longer. And as we fast forward towards the back half of the week, today's Tuesday, moving through Wednesday into your Thursday, notice what begins to happen. See how our high pressure ridge begins to bully. It's bullied down off our east coast. It's nudged back towards the east of us over the westernmost Atlantic. We're going to keep the hot air in play, but our moisture is going to go up a little bit more than what it is right now. And for those of you out there wondering if Central Florida is the only one baking right now, no. In fact, you can see exactly across the national heat index chart here, everywhere where that ridge is dominating the weather pattern, all the way up to St. Louis, Missouri, up into Columbus, Ohio, even Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Look at the triple-digit feels-like temperatures. So everybody under this stubborn ridge, that magnifying glass I'd mentioned earlier, we're all feeling the heat. There's a kicker, though. If I take you over to our dew point temperatures here and our moisture in the atmosphere, notice we still have some pretty vibrant colors here, and that's a good thing. That means that during the day, especially the hottest parts of the afternoon between 2 and 5 p.m., our sea breeze may try to do a little something. We have hot water off the coastline, but we have an even hotter peninsula. And if you notice, as we go through Friday and into the weekend, see how we start to see a buildup of those deeper shades of red, some of the purples sneaking in there as well. That's a good thing. That's a front sagging down to the south, going to help to up our rain chances pretty much across the board, hopefully cool us down when it matters most. And I also want you to look at this. You see that little bubble there? Kind of looking a little suspicious, especially for the time of year. Watch as it moves into Florida. Really helps to bathe us in an increase in moisture as we go through this time next week. Well, we're getting closer. It is now, not August just yet, but we're kind of getting close. You take a look at our tropical climatology, and honestly, I can't believe how fast July came and went, especially with my being out of the office since the beginning of the month. We're getting ready for that uphill climb towards the peak of the hurricane season, and I want to emphasize we already have some active signals out there we're going to continue to monitor. I'll walk you through the probabilities. This is one of my favorite color-coded charts, introduce you all to. It's not showing the potential of a system being in a certain spot of the Atlantic. It's kind of just showing us where conditions are going to be a lot more favorable for an attempt at trying to develop a named storm. Notice the signals going off the chain as it comes off the mid-Atlantic coast with that next front coming through, headed for Bermuda, which is a good sign. If anything does try to flare up, it's moving away from us. But then we have a tropical wave that's going to be migrating towards the Turks and Caicos and the Bahama Islands just off our east and southeast coast. And then back behind that, what I do think has a better shot at trying to flare up is going to be another tropical wave coming off of Africa by about the 4th through the 6th of August. And to tell you the truth, folks, I want to continue to keep an eye on this one a little bit closer than the first. First, I'm giving it about a 50-50 shot at trying to do anything once it works its way through some hostile conditions across the Atlantic. But that second one, as the first paves the way, more or less, is going to be in a bit of a better state, bit of a better position, and a better background environment, if that makes sense, to try to do a little something as it traverses the Atlantic. No cause for alarm or concern right now. Just know that we're watching here in the Digital Weather Center and across the News 6 Weather Center. Let's go ahead and wrap up now with a quick look at your extended range forecast. Look at those temperatures, though. That's going to be the song and dance and the headline as we go over the next 7 days. Look at how rain chances go up, but because that ridge is going to hang out off the coastline, we're really not going to see a reprieve in the temperatures. We just got to hope for the best in terms of the rain helping to douse the temps, douse the heat a little bit, kind of like water to putting out a fire, if that makes sense.
I mean, the analogy is spot on, putting out a fire. I mean, when the overnight temperatures do not go below what I keep my AC at, that is concerning, because I put mine at like 78 to just try and like not have the thing die on me, and not open up my bill from Duke and have it be $8,000. But even then,
that.
it's like at night when it doesn't get down to 78, I'm like, wow, I could just, man, it's tough.
Yeah, it's been brutal out there, but there is some relief on the way. Definitely stick with us, folks, if you're watching right now, because there's going to be a lot I think we're going to have to discuss as we rock through the month of August together.
Yeah. Well, summer will wrap up sometime in December. So anyway, David, on that note of crushing morosity, thank you very much. All right. So as David just mentioned, the heat is on. It's a Glenn Frey song. Anyone? Anyone? All right. From Beverly Hills Cop. I'm dating myself here. The point is that across our area, cities and counties are opening up cooling centers and issuing warnings to people. If you've got to be outside, take precautions. And if you have no other choice but to be outside, there are resources available for you. Stephanie Rodriguez has this story.
A rare extreme heat warning is in effect for Central Florida today. I'm Stephanie Rodriguez reporting in Apopka. The heat indices today could be between 110 and 115 degrees. That is dangerous weather for people outside, so you're urged to be indoors whenever possible. Orange County has actually opened up cooling centers like this one here in Apopka. It's one of the 7 that are open for people to find relief in the heat. All of the public libraries are also open, as well as several gyms at local parks. Everyone needs to be on alert today and avoid being outside if possible. Anyone that does have to be outside, including kids at sports practices, are being urged to take precautions. Now that means a lot of water and frequent breaks. We spoke with Seminole County's emergency manager about the dangers last week.
Make sure you hydrate very well, that you wear cool clothing. If your children or you start to get very hot, get under that shade. Keep cool for a good 15 to 20 minutes before you go back out in the heat and the elements.
Practices are being urged to take precautions. Now that means a lot of water and frequent breaks. We spoke with Seminole County's emergency manager about the dangers last week.
Make sure you hydrate very well, that you wear cool clothing. If your children or you start to get very hot, get under that shade. Keep cool for a good 15 to 20 minutes before you go back out in the heat and the elements.
There could also be delays for commuters again today. Sunrail had to slow down its trains yesterday because the extreme heat can actually cause the tracks to expand. Rail networks typically reduce the speed of their trains when the temperature goes over 86 degrees, and we know it's going to be much hotter than that today, so if you do use the Sunrail, you might see some delays. That extreme heat warning is in effect in all of our counties except for Brevard until 7 o'clock tonight. When it gets this hot, heat-related illnesses are much more likely as well, so staying in the shade or indoors whenever possible is really, really recommended. Now, aside from staying hydrated, you should be wearing loose-fitting and lightweight clothes, and also be aware of the symptoms of heat stroke, which include nausea, flushed skin, as well as increased heart rate. So if you experience any of those symptoms, please get in the shade as quick as possible. Reporting in Apopka, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
So last night, my wife sent me video of my oldest son is playing the baritone sax in the marching band this year. He'll be a freshman, and she sent me a video of them out there practicing marching. And this is at like 7:30 at night, and it still looked miserable out there, even as the sun is going down. Thank you, Stephanie. All right, so we have a developing story out of New York City. 4 people are dead, including a gunman, after a gunman opened fire on several people before taking his own life. CBS News' Bradley Blackburn has this report.
Emergency responders carried a man from a high-rise building in Midtown Manhattan where a gunman opened fire, stopping on the street to perform CPR.
4 officers came out and they were carrying what looked like to me another officer that looked injured.
Police swarmed the building on Park Avenue minutes after shots were reported. One of their own is among those killed, 36-year-old Didarul Islam, an immigrant from Bangladesh who became an NYPD officer 3.5 years ago.
The building's security camera footage shows the shooter enter the lobby, turn right, and immediately open fire on an NYPD officer. He then shoots a woman who took cover behind a pillar.
The suspect was identified as 27-year-old Shane Tamura from Las Vegas. Police say he drove his car cross-country, arriving just before the shooting and double parking outside. He then entered the building armed with an M4 rifle and started shooting.
In that lobby, police say he also shot and killed a security officer and injured another man before taking the elevator up to the 33rd floor, where he continued shooting, killing one more person. Police say that's where the suspect took his own life.
He appeared to have blamed the NFL for his injury. The NFL headquarters is located in the building at 345 Park Avenue. From our preliminary investigation, he took the wrong elevator bank up to the NFL headquarters.
The NYPD says another loaded gun and ammunition were found in the suspect's car. They say he had a history of mental illness. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Well, back here in Central Florida, deputies are looking for a suspect accused of trying to attack a woman who was jogging. There are several places that you can go jogging, several trails around our area, from Katy Way to the Econ Trail to across Seminole Trail, West Orange Trail. All of them have markings in place to alert you of where you're at and some runner safety. But even still, these kind of things can happen. Right now, Orange County Sheriff's deputies are looking for a man who on Friday allegedly tried to attack a woman who was out for a jog. Mark Lehman has this story.
I'm News 6's Mark Lehman, and we're in Orange County. This is where deputies say a woman was attacked here on the Little Econ Greenway Trail on Friday. Deputies put out surveillance video of a person of interest they're looking for. We're taking a closer look at that. We're also hearing from people who frequent this trail and told us about their concerns.
Normally, there's a lot of families and everything around here. I bring the kids all the time, so it's usually safe.
Carmen Jimenez says she often brings her family to the Little Econ Greenway Trail, and that's why she's disturbed to hear about an attack.
It's kind of concerning, you know, their safety and everything, especially me being with them alone.
The Orange County Sheriff's Office releasing this surveillance video of a person of interest moments before the encounter. Investigators say it was around 9 a.m. Friday when a man grabbed a woman from behind and tried to rape her while she was running on the trail near Yates Road.
That's really bad for the community, because this is actually like where people come out and do exercise and stuff.
Edgardo Ortiz says the trail is normally safe, but with Friday's attack, he'd like to see more security in the area.
Definitely needs more, official presence, more police presence run around.
When it comes to the person of interest in this, it may be difficult to see his face, but deputies are hoping someone may recognize his features or possibly the clothes he's wearing. Anyone who can identify the man is urged to call Crime Line at 800-423-TIPS. In Orange County, Mark Lehman, News 6.
You know, as somebody who runs Central Florida, I jog all the time around this area. You know, you guys talk about this, like if you can run in groups, it's not only safer to be in groups, but, you know, you got somebody to chat with. It's also, too, to be important to be aware of your surroundings. The temptation is to put on, you know, big headphones like this and go for a run, but being able to hear traffic, being able to hear somebody near you, that is very important to just kind of be aware of your surroundings. So, you know, something to keep in mind. And, of course, if you recognize the suspect, you're asked to give the Orange County Sheriff's Office a call. We'll be right back. Well, cell phones. I mean, I've got one here and one here. Yeah, that's how many I keep on me at all time. But it's for work and personal and everything else. But as you see kids now, They want to have the cell phones, and my kids are no exception. They're 12 and 14. Both of them want to have a cell phone. We're not quite there yet, but I know a lot of children like to take them with them and like to have them at school. This has become a bit of a contentious issue, not just here in Florida, but nationwide, as schools have tried to figure out a way to kind of balance that. You know, as a parent, maybe you want to be able to get in touch with your child, but also at the same time, cell phone needs to be put away when it's time to learn. So school after school is starting to wrestle with this, and at what age is it appropriate. Volusia County is taking up that issue today, trying to figure out exactly where to draw that line when it comes to cell phone policies, especially for younger kids. Angie Casada has this report.
I'm Angie Casada, your Volusia County community correspondent. In middle schools like this one, Galaxy Middle, that I actually attended back in the day, could be one of the schools impacted. But what we know so far is that this policy is not set in stone just yet. District leaders will be making a big decision today following a new state mandate. Tonight at 4:30, the board will vote on a proposal that would ban elementary and middle schoolers from using their phones anytime during the school day, even during lunch and passing periods. From group chats to social media, phones are everywhere, but in Volusia County schools, they may be phased out, at least for younger students.
We always say that phones are good for connecting, but also you have to disconnect to reconnect.
The policy would prohibit elementary and middle schoolers from using wireless devices from the time they arrive to the final bell. High school students would only be allowed to use phones during lessons if it's for educational purposes and a teacher approves.
I get what they're doing, and I support the fact that it's hard having schools with cell phones, but as a parent, I also can understand our concern as well. So it's kind of like, it's hard to balance for a parent. It's also on the other side, I want to be able to contact my child when I need to, or whatever the case may be.
District leaders say they'll continue to allow students to have phones. They just can't use them during school hours. The board is expected to make a final decision later this afternoon. And if that vote passes, the new rules would take effect when students return for the new school year. Of course, we'll bring you the latest from that meeting on air and on clickorlando.com. In Deltona, I'm your Volusia County community correspondent Angie Casada, News 6.
All right, so as you were watching that report, you didn't see what was going on behind me. There's apparently, it was a small snake found here in the WKMG News 6 newsroom. Small snake. Non-venomous, we're guessing. Does he work here? The snake, does it work here? It's an internship. If anyone knows a good herpetologist who'd like to swing by, no, it's been handled. The snake has been handled. We did not hurt the snake. It's being relocated back outside where it can live out the rest of its wonderful snake years, doing what it does best, supporting our ecosystem. Anyway, snake in the newsroom. You don't get that on the other stations. All right, that now to the last bit we have here. This is... Kathleen, tell me about this one. This is the Dubai chocolate craze. I've never heard of this. It's in the copy that she handed me. Jared Hill's our reporter on this one. Apparently, it's a thing called Dubai chocolate. The kids, it's all the rage for the youngins out there today. Yeah, so here's the Dubai chocolate craze.
Decadent. Wow. Distinctive and bursting out of Dubai.
It just came to the United States and it's just like all over the place.
The Dubai chocolate trend is tickling taste buds around the globe. It was actually this TikTok that first introduced the world to the original, a block of milk chocolate oozing with green pistachio cream and crunchy shredded phyllo dough. Created to soothe the pregnancy craving by the owner of Dubai-based Fix Chocolatier.
Okay.
At New York's Sweet Graffiti,
They're the higher sellers, everything that is Dubai.
pastry chef Romina Pixoto is in overdrive, cranking out her version, with the original pretty much only sold in Dubai.
Now you're gonna fill each cavity with chocolate.
So she put me to work to help stock up. What do you think makes yours special, better, different?
I think that the ingredients that I use, they're high quality ingredients.
The Dubai chocolate, okay.
Bridget Capel had never heard of the bar until her daughter, Kate, saw it on social media. Kate never had it either, but she knew she needed to try it on her trip to New York.
Because it looks so good, and just like seeing everyone try it and like their reactions.
So what does Dubai chocolate taste like?
It's soft and you can really tell the pistachios are there. Very delicate, really good.
As companies continue to ride the wave, Chef Pixoto is hoping to bake one of her own.
Create new flavors and see if that like crazy spark in somebody.
A search for a sweet viral moment that breeds blockbuster success. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
I don't get it. It's chocolate with pistachios in it. I'm sure it's delicious. It sounds like you take like what would be like a Turkish delight and cover it in chocolate. I'm sure it's fantastic. Anyway, no, I'm being told no. That's not what that is. It's something different. Where are we at on the snake situation? I'm having conversations off mic. This is what we're doing now. The snake got sorted.
This man here is the hero.
Mike got it. Snake's good. Good. All right, snake situation's been sorted. News 6 Extra's coming to a conclusion. Thank you for the update on the chocolate. Kathy, thank you as always, for producing this wonderful broadcast. Thank you to David for the weather. And we'll be back tomorrow with, roll the dice. We could have a Wolverine roaming the newsroom tomorrow. You never know. That's why you tune in for this. Anyway, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a good one.